everyone. So today we're going to be creating a color wheel. So we're going to be creating our color wheel out of our primary colors to create secondary colors. So our primary colors are going to be red, yellow, and blue. We're also going to need a ruler, a pencil, some paintbrushes, and a bowl or something that's a circle that we can use as a template to create our color wheel on our paper or canvas. So I'm going to start off by using my pencil and drawing all the way around my bowl. And that creates a perfect color wheel. And then we're going to use our ruler and we are going to look to see how do we draw a line that's through the middle of our circle. So a color wheel is super important to learn, and the reasoning why is because there's so many colors that you can create out of your primaries, and white and black, and that's what we're going to be learning today. So it might not be as interesting as when we do paintings, but a color wheel is so important. So I like to keep my color wheels where I can see them. So I have them kind of posted up around my desk, or I have them in my drawers of my desk, and I have all different kinds. And I might use it as like primary and secondary colors like I'm showing you, but I also do create them for values and different things like that. So we're going to work on that this month. So as you can see, that line that I drew through the middle of my circle, I put a dot in the very, very middle, and I'm going to create, it's kind of like slicing pizza or a piece of cake. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to draw a line from here to here and here to here. And that is going to be our basic color wheel with primary and secondary colors. So in our top slice of pizza, we're going to be putting red. So I have R for red. And down here, we're going to have yellow. And down here, we're going to have blue. So I have it on my paper, but I've also put it on a canvas. It's kind of getting over prepared, I guess. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paintbrush and my paint, and I've got some water here, and I'm going to use the red to fill in the home for the red, just where I've written it. So at the very top of my color wheel. We're going to create all different kinds of color wheels this month, and I'm going to show you how. So it's kind of experimenting to see what kind of colors can we make out of other colors. And it's really important that you kind of try this out every once in a while, or when you have questions. You don't want to have to go to the art store and buy every single tone or color of paint. It's much easier when you just take some time to learn how to create a color wheel, because then you can talk yourself through this where you can figure out how to make your own colors. So red's a pretty super bright color, and it's hard to kind of get off the brush. So I am going to use another brush. Use this one. I've cleaned them, but I was using oil paints too. That's probably not a good thing. Okay, I'm going to use my yellow, and I'm going to go in to my color wheel, and I'm going to put the yellow right in its home. So these are primaries. You can't really create a primary. So you're going to see what your three primaries are, and you're going to always want to make sure you have those colors. So you're going to want a red, you're going to want a yellow, and you're going to want a blue. If you have tempera paints, you might find that the colors might not be perfect. You'll get an idea of what they turn into. You could always fill your color wheel up with marker too, or pencil crayon. You don't have to use paint. The reason I like paint is because we can see what we're mixing, right? Okay, so I've got that part done, the yellow, and now, make sure to get all the water off my brush. I'm going to get blue. So today might be a bit of a shorter class, and we're not creating a painting, but we're creating a tool that we can use with every painting we do to see how color works. And we're going to start off really basically like this, where we're just doing our primary and our secondary colors. And we're going to start learning this month of how colors work together. So we're going to start with this. So feel free to do more than one color wheel too. And I also like to do color samples on a piece of paper, which I'm also going to show you how to do today. Okay, that's a little bit more streaky, so I probably need to do a second coat, but I can come back to that. So the first color we're going to do is we're going to create red and yellow together. So we're going to place right between red and yellow the color that red and yellow make. So I'm going to take an equal amount of red, so a scoop of red and a scoop of yellow. And we are going to mix that up. And what a beautiful orange color it makes. So red and yellow, and I'm sure you guys know this, but it's important to learn how to build your color wheel. Red and yellow make orange. Oh, I love that orange. It's so bright. So we're going to talk throughout the month too about the kind of colors in between. So what happens if you mix more yellow or more red in with your orange? So that's going to be another day. We're just going to come up with our secondary colors. Okay. So there's our orange. These are lots of fun to make. I love mixing different colors and seeing what I get. And I keep a whole book of them. So I can see exactly, like sometimes I'll come up with colors and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. So I write down really quick how I created it so I won't forget. Okay, so I've got orange on my brush and make sure I clean that right off. Okay, so the next one, so we're gonna work all the way around our color wheel. So we have yellow and blue. So I wanna make sure I don't grab the yellow that's got red in it because I was kind of messy. So I'm going to create a drop of yellow, and then we're going to do a drop of blue. We're going to mix that together, and oh my gosh, look at this, you guys. We have green. So yellow and blue together make green. And I always like to make sure, if you can see at the very top of my brush, when I've been mixing away, there's still some blue and yellow. So I make sure I kind of like drag that part on the side of my palette so I can mix it in with the color, so I don't get those big streaks of yellow or blue when I'm filling in my color wheel. So I'm going to fill in between blue and yellow lives green. You're going to want to keep these color wheels, like I said. You might think this is really simple if you kind of known and tried color mixing before, but we're always going to add a different step. Oh, see, I got a little bit of the yellow that's still wet on the green, so I'll just mix it in really good. So you're gonna want to keep these because you can kind of look and see what colors you're gonna get. And sometimes too, if you use lots of different brands of paint, which I do, I might write down the brand of paint I used as well, because you'll find sometimes the colors are a little bit different than each brand. Okay. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to create what lives between blue and red. So, just like we did with the other ones, we're going to take a scoop of blue and a scoop of red, and we're going to mix that together. And I bet you guys know what we're going to get, because I bet you a lot of people, this is either your favorite color is purple. Okay. And we're going to want to make sure we do what? We drag our paintbrush kind of so we get all that paint that we're mixing up into the mixture, and then we're going to paint our purple. So that is why it lives there, is because it has both red and blue. So we might be done here where you're like, wow, that was enough to learn in one day. And you might want to go in and just add to your color wheels and do like a second coat after it dries. But I'm going to show you what else I sometimes do with the color wheel colors I make. So do you remember how I've talked before about color value? And if not, that's okay. Color value is the lightness and darkness of a color. So I like to kind of take a piece of paper that I keep with my color wheel. So we've got all of our color wheel here. I'm just going to put this kind of to the side. So we're going to start off with purple because that is the color we just finished off with, and it's all over my brush. So I like to always keep a piece of paper and I'll write down purple and white because to change the value of a color, we add white. I like to see what kind of values I can get out of this paint. It's quite basic because it's just our primary, right, and our secondary colors, but it's kind of nice to be able to see. So I will take, I'm going to get a flat brush. I like those a little bit better, even though I could have used this one again. But I want to show you, so this is my purple. This is the purple that I have used on my color wheel. And I am going to paint a square with that color. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of like an eggplant kind of purple. I really like it. So this is a dark value of our purple. So to change the value of our purple, we have to add some white. So I'm going to add just a little bit. Oopsies. There we go. Fix that. I'm going to add a little bit of white. And I'm going to mix that right in because we're creating a different value of purple. And so right beside the dark purple, I'm going to do a different value of purple so we can see what we can get out of adding more and more white to change the value. Okay, so as we know, acrylic kind of dries a little quick, so you might want to have to add some water. I'm going to do that again. And then I'm going to add more white. So we're going to create our purple and we're going to create more white. So today is just about experimenting with our colors. So we're experimenting how we can create our primaries to our secondaries, and then how we can take white to change the value of those colors and how it looks. So I'm going to do another square. And you can just keep playing. You could have a full page of just different values of purple. It's just how much white that you put in with the color mixture. So I'm going to wipe this off because I got quite a bit of purple on here still. And I'm going to take white and I'm going to put it in its own pile. And I'm going to take a little bit of the purple and I'm going to add it to that. Because then we don't get it so dark, right? We start with the white. But yet it's got a purple hue, which I love. So then I'm going to go and paint. So we're going to see we have 4 different values of purple here. And if you like to write things down, I just write purple value at the top. You don't have to. I'm not going to because I can kind of just, oops, oh no, look at what I did, you guys. Grab from the wrong pile and that happened. So I'm going to start over here. I'm going to wait for this to kind of dry and I'll go over top of that again because that was my blunder. Okay, so today's just experimenting. So I just want you to go through and I want you to see how you can change those colors. So I did purple. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with red. Let's try red. So what is the full value of the red paint I have? Oh my gosh, that's so crazy intensely bright, isn't it? And I'm just creating my little sample sheets, which you can keep in a binder. Like that's what I know a lot of people do. Perfect. And then we're going to take some of the white and we're going to add it just to a little corner of the red. We're going to see how we can change this value. Okay, perfect. Just like this. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more white, so another scoop. Mix it up really good. We're gonna change that value. It's kind of more pink now, isn't it? Tell you, two of my favorite colors to mix together is pink and purple. I love that soft color you can get. Okay, so I'm gonna add some white. Remember, the last one I add white and just a little bit of red, or a little bit of red to it. So it's nice and pink. And I mixed up really good. There we go, just like this. Doesn't that look good? Okay, so we're gonna keep working through the colors on our color wheel, just like this. So we've got red, we've got purple. So we kind of started with purple, red, now let's go into orange. And write down how you do it if you're at all confused. So we're gonna start off with our intense orange. And we're going to make our square. Remember, we're just going to keep following our color wheel. Now what I'm gonna do is add a little bit of white to that orange. And let's see, what's a different value of orange? And this is gonna help us learn how to mix our colors. And you know what? Feel free to like mix orange and red and see what you get. But make sure you put it on your paper and write down what you did so it's not, you don't forget. I'm sure your mom and dads will help, or grandmas or grandpas can help you do that. So we're just gonna work our way through. There's my orange, and I gotta add some white. Just like that. Oh, see, I didn't mix it totally good, did I? Made a bit of a mess. You can see the orange, the bright orange. Kind of streaking, just like that. Okay. So the next color we have is our yellow, right? So we'll take our yellow and we'll have our nice bright yellow. And if you find your paint water is getting a little murky, I noticed mine is a little bit, you might want to go clean it, get another glass of it, but I'm gonna just keep going and I'm just gonna move this over here. Okay, I'm going to show you another value of our yellow. Okay, maybe I need a new brush. I need a brush with less yellow on it. And I'm going to wipe it off on the paper towels I always have at the side. Make sure you have a nice clean brush. I'm so bad for that sometimes. And if you're using a really intense color like red, it can be hard. Okay, do that one more time and I think we're pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna take our yellow and I'm gonna add just the white right here. I'm kind of losing places on my palette, so feel free. I actually have a second palette here just to help me out because I kind of go through my palettes quite quickly. So I'm gonna add a scoop of white to my yellow, and I'm trying my best not to get any of the other colors, and if I do, I can just re-pour. So just, you can see my yellow is now getting lighter, but I'm gonna start with some newer paint because I noticed the white has got a little bit of a color tinge to it because I was really messy and I didn't clean my brush before I scooped out the color, which I'm sure some of you know what that's like. You get into too much of a rush and you want to see what that color is going to be. So I'm going to take some white. I'm going to put the white to the side, and I'm going to add just a dot of yellow, just like that. We're going to mix it up. All good. Remember, scrape the sides of your brush. I'm going to do it right this way. And we're going to make our light value of yellow. And we're going to keep working our way through. So the next is going to be green. So green is a secondary color between yellow and blue. And I'm going to take a scoop of green go, and it's all drying up on me. Scoop of green. We're going to put that down. And so we're going to use the green we have on the color wheel. And now I'm going to start adding white to that green. Just like that. Oh, excuse me. At least I'm on my own. I don't have a mask on or anything. And I'm sneezing away. Okay. We're going to add even more white to that green. Oh, I kind of like that. It's like a mint color. See how we are learning out of just a few colors how to create all these colors. It's like a whole rainbow out of 3 colors. Or really 4 if you want to add, because we're adding the white, right? So 4 colors. We've got our blue, our yellow, our red, and our white. And we have created all these shades. So it shows you what all you can create. Okay, so we've got that. And then I'm going to go in and I am going to create the blue. So I'm going to get my other piece of paper. And like I said, add it to your, you can add it to your binder. And you might hear some footsteps. My daughter's kind of looking for food, I think. So, okay, we've got the green. So now we're moving on to blue. So we've got the blue. So we're going to take the blue that we used on our color wheel. And we're going to create the dark blue. Just like this. And then we're going to add the white. So I'm going to take my little palette, the one that's still a little bit clean here. I'm going to add the white to the blue, and it shows you that different value. Okay. We're going to start learning about different colors next week, but we're also going to learn about what happens when we put certain colors together and why. So if we take 2 colors that are quite similar on the color wheel and put them side by side compared to right across from each other. So we're going to learn that next week, and I'm super excited. I think color is so important. Lots of people have to, if you learn a lot about color, art gets way more easier. Okay, and we actually, you guys, we already did purple because I started with the wrong one. So I've worked all my way through. So I want to show you, out of these colors, out of the primaries, this is what you can create. Isn't that amazing that you can create so much stuff from your primaries? You can create your secondaries, and you can create different values with white. So send in a picture of what you guys have and play around with your colors. See what happens when you mix green and blue or yellow and orange, and then you change the value. So make yourself lots of different cards or papers for a binder, and you can state how you made it. And make sure you put the brand of the paint maybe on the back, just so if you can't get it with a different brand, you know how you made that color. So send me in your pictures. I can't wait to see. So I'll see you next week.